Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Cash Talk podcast. It's Kiana, aka Cash.
And it's your boy Ham Van Dam, aka me.
Uh,
We're gonna get better at these intros, I
yeah,
promise.
and today is not a good day for me. In
Oh,
full transparency, I have a tummy ache.
big tummy
A
energy.
very big tummy ache. But anyway, this is episode 8, and we're gonna start off like we always do and recap last week's episode. Last week, we spoke about healthy habits, creating healthy habits, and some positive self talk. We covered a lot of stuff last week, actually. It kind of went all over the place.
It usually does. But we're a work in progress. But yeah, we spoke about positive self-talk, kind of using affirmations and, using that to kind of help you build up healthy habits for the most part because
And, oh, go. You was
oh,
talking.
I'm sorry. I was saying like it kind of helps you build up these healthy habits so that you can, keep a positive outlook on your day so that, because like I said, like life is really, really hard. It can be really hard. So you want to, get into the habit of building these healthy habits so that you have, better days than worse days for the most part.
And it's just making sure that you give yourself that extra push of positivity because you don't want to be your biggest downfall. You
Yep.
don't want to talk yourself into not doing anything. You don't want to talk yourself into a bad mood. So just creating that habit of like telling yourself that you value your own opinion, you know what you're doing, like don't overthink things because I know we all do that, and try to just take things for what they are and not what you think they are.
Yeah, and also, I said something really important, like trying new things that you may not necessarily know. Like I said, like there's certain things that we like that before we would have never thought that we liked. So it's like those things that, implementing that into your daily schedule and, taking that time out, of course, for self-care. And, I say I'm trying to do like 30 minutes of Nintendo Switch self-care a day. So, those are things that I like to do. But, let's move forward into this episode, which is episode 8. So give us our affirmation, Cash.
Okay, so this week's episode is about goal setting with intention. So this affirmation is: I enter this next phase of life with an open mind and open heart. So, like we said, it ties in again, like every episode kind of ties into each other, but it's like giving yourself the opportunity to explore different things, being open-minded, seeing the world at a more what's the word, like a useful place, a resource. So don't think everything is against you. Think that everything can work for you. So when it comes to that, it's like, okay, you may not know how to do something, but you could figure it out. You don't have to be good at everything. Make it, you like, take it for your own advantage. Take advantage of the opportunities around you.
Okay. So let's start off by talking about like, what are some of our goals? I can start off since you just gave us that nice soliloquy. So, of course, everybody knows that I have a goal to be a mogul, music mogul, media mogul, and build my company up, Smooth Family Entertainment, to be your favorite creative content creation company. That's my big goal. I have, smart goals as well, in which I want to finish college. I want to get into investment capital and see and kind of advertise my dream so that, I can get like-minded people to kind of see the vision, fund the vision, but definitely align themselves with the vision as well. I would say that I'm definitely more into intentional goal setting than I was before because a goal is just a goal, if that makes sense. It's not necessarily like that's not necessarily a good thing and bad thing. Like I feel like there's a reason why we have goals,
A
but
goal is just something you're saying you're going to work towards.
yeah,
You're
but
just saying it.
yeah, and I feel like the intentional part, like which is something I didn't really get to really recently, honestly, is something that is a step that I feel like
Steps.
it's easy. Well, steps, yes. It's easy to skip. It's easy to skip. Like, yo, I want to do this, and what is being pushed to me, or like what I'm consuming, is like, all right, you could do this, and you could get there, if that makes sense. Like, you want to be a musician. All right, what do you think you have to do to be a musician? Do you think you just have to perform shows and people will like your songs? Like, that's what it looks like on television. But the reality is that there's so many steps and there's so many ways to get to that goal.
And just taking the time to map all of that
Yep.
out instead of just waiting, instead of just going with the flow. A lot of us go with the flow when it comes to our goals. We're like, okay, I want to lose 20 pounds this year. And we'll go hit the gym hard for the first couple weeks. And then after a while, you don't keep up the routine. You're not determined anymore. The motivation is not there because that high of setting a new goal is just it depleted. The honeymoon phase is over.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that's when you slip into old habits and you start doing the same things over and over again. And that's because you weren't specific with your goal. You weren't checking in with yourself. You weren't revising that goal. Like you weren't determined. You were more motivated. And we're going to talk about that later, the difference between determination and being motivated. But like one of my goals, so Shane kind of you don't do they even know you as Shane?
Yes.
But anyway,
some people do.
Shane spoke about his goals, like, and they seemed more grand scale, right? Whereas my goals are a little more on the smaller scale because that works more for me. And they're little things like stop sleeping in, use your alarm. So if my alarm goes off, everybody knows I turn it off. Most times I do wake up early naturally, but recently I have been waking up way later to the point where I'm waking up 15 minutes before work since I'm working from home right at this moment. And I just log back in and I don't give myself that time to like adjust to the fact that I've just been sleeping for 8 hours. I can't just go. I can't just turn on. That's not healthy. So one of my goals is just waking up and using my time more intentionally. So if I want to make a coffee, get to use the bathroom in between that coffee because you already know. Make a breakfast if I want breakfast, like, clean up my space, make sure I'm logged in and ready, make sure all, my computer's working, my phone's charged. So giving myself that more of that time instead of consistently have to take little breaks during work because I didn't get to do anything for myself this morning. So that's like a major goal for myself, whereas it looks more smaller, like, oh, she just wants to wake up early. But it's something that brings intention to my life and my daily habits, creating those healthy habits and giving myself that space to have more positive things to say about myself.
Yeah. That's a good again. I like that you brought that. You wanna kind of get yourself set up before you have to attack the day. One of my professors says, he's my audio professor. He says like, yo, before I even, and I was telling this to one of my clients the other day. He was like, I don't really like doing like per hour sessions because it's like you don't really get a time to sit down and really plan out your stuff. I like to do day sessions. He's like, before I'm even like, I'm like 9:00 a.m. session, like I'm 30 minutes I'm spent like getting my coffee right and sitting down and getting my chair adjusted and stuff like that. And there's like certain things like that. It's like, even going back to like the previous episode, like that's like a positive habit. But he sets his goals for the day. Like, I'm not going to let whatever's coming in here kind of deter me from what I set out to do today. Even if it's like a bad, I don't want to say bad client, but like a difficult client. Like it's always interesting to see, people who have accomplished their goals. And I don't know.
It's like maintaining the momentum of it. Like, we'll talk about that too. Like once you reach it, now what?
Yeah, I say now what, but it's like even when you see people like maintaining that momentum,
Yeah.
basically it's like, okay, this person looks like this is just going super well for them. And I like that. I want that.
So we have all these goals, and most times we may not meet them. We might forget we even had them in the first
Yep.
place. Life just happens. We're human. It's not that deep. It really isn't, unless it's something that's like, life changing and you have to do it. Most of our goals are things that we want that personally just, make our life a little easier. Now, if your goal is like graduate college, yeah, you should be focused. You can't let that slip because you're in there, you're paying for it. That's a time constraint on that. So it's like certain things you just have to be more proactive about. But when it comes to every goal, there's this difference between being motivated and being determined to meet those goals. I could be motivated to do something, but if I'm not determined to do it, 9 times out of 10, there's going to be a period where I don't do anything at all towards it. Or I don't think about it, it takes the back burner because I'm not that determined. And I think about my friends that go to the gym like all the time, like 5 days a week. They're in the gym for a minimum 45 minutes, in and out sometimes, just like any type of movement. They go to the gym, they go to the park for a jog, they do yoga, like, some type of movement they're dedicated to. And no matter what's going on in their life, they make sure every single day they get some type of movement in. They will be in the worst moods ever, but because they're determined, they know that's just something they have to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, I'm very sad today, but I told myself I'll go to the gym. Let me just go to the gym. Now it's different if you're like sick. Then that's knowing that you need time for yourself, listening to your body. But when it comes to just normal everyday, like, oh, it's raining outside, I ain't going to the gym. That wouldn't be something to separate them from their goals because they're like, I really want to accomplish this. I'll bring an umbrella.
Indeed. It is. I think it's. Unfortunately, I think it's just a lack of discipline. Like you have to like. When it comes to like even we say intentional goal setting, like that's just discipline. Like you have to sit down and go, yo, if this is what I really want, like if this is what I really want, and that's what you have to determine. If this is not something you really want to do, then you're never gonna give. You're never
don't
gonna
waste your time.
Yeah, don't. You're never gonna give the 100% that's required for the most part. Like it's even more than 100%, but it's like minimum 100% required to get to the point where you feel the sense of like accomplishment, like you're accomplishing your goals and whatnot. It's like if you go into, it's like saying if you go into shit half-ass, like you're gonna get half results.
Yeah.
Like that's just what's gonna come out, and you don't want, and that's gonna make you not feel great about it. It can lead to more feelings of self-doubt. It can lead to more feelings of yo, can I do this? Like it happens. I'm telling you from personal experience, it happens. Like if you don't give your all into something, like even like small goals, you got to give your all into it. Like if we decide, even still, like, all right, we have to go to the gym, or even like I have to give 2 hours to this brand, or I have to give, something to the, just in general, but like you have to be able to, stay disciplined and stay consistent with that. Like that's a big part of like why it's so hard.
Yeah, and you can't really say you gave your all when you didn't, because I know that's how we say we get that self-doubt and stuff like that, and it's because we think we did everything right, but we really didn't. and if you did, that's okay too, because failing means that didn't work for you and it's time to revise that goal. If that did not work for you and you could not give your all, say, what am I doing that's like stopping me from reaching my goal, and what can I do different? If you don't know, maybe speak to your friends. That's why you have community and social supports. To like speak to your friends, talk to your family, reach out to somebody that is maybe pursuing the same goal or has reached that goal. So like I have a lot of friends that post like weight loss things, and for medical reasons I have to lose weight. So I message them and I'm just like, hey, like, how did you get so determined to be in a gym every day? Or like, how do you find your healthy meals? How do you, you know, get up every morning? What's your day look like? Like, that's why YouTubers be so big, because people just be watching what they do in a day because something they have, you want.
Emulation.
Yeah, like
emulation.
you see that this person that looks like you and is around the same age as you, driving the car you want, living in the building you want, working the job you want. You're like, how can I be like this person, but my own version of it? And you just want to get like inspiration, I guess.
Some type of inspiration.
Yeah, and use that to your advantage. And that's something that will help you redefine your goals. Not everything works for everybody, of course, but a little bit from everybody can really make a change in what you do.
Yeah, and that's just in life too. Like everybody you're influenced by kind of shapes who you are. So it's like
nobody had an original thought. There's nothing. Yeah.
I don't believe that at all. We're all
maybe millions of years.
We're just all just little pieces of the people that we are inspired by for the most part.
Our perspective is just a bunch of perspectives in one.
All right, so moving on, let's talk about the difference for the most part between, these regular goals that we set and these intentional goals.
Yeah. So like for me, what I think the difference is, a regular goal, like we said earlier, is just something that you're like, oh, I want to wake up early. It's like, okay, so what time do you want to wake up? What do you want to do during that time? What, the who, what, when, where, and why. So, so it's like I call them smarter goals, not smart goals. So it's like you're specific. The goal is measurable. It's attainable. You can actually attain it. It's relevant to what you're doing in life. It's timely, meaning that you can measure how you do it, and like it's something that, what's the words I'm looking for?
I'm trying to figure out what's the E and the R.
Oh, you'll see. The timeliness means that it's something that's doable, and it's not going to take 20 years and you can't measure it. And then the E is to evaluate this goal.
Ooh, okay.
You evaluate the goal, and then that's when the R comes in, where you revise or reward yourself for meeting that goal.
Okay, I like that.
So it's like, okay, I evaluated the goal. This doesn't work for me. R, revise it. Or I evaluated the goal. I think that I can meet it. I continue doing what I'm doing, and I give myself some type of reward, whether that be like, oh, I was able to run 2 miles on the treadmill in under whatever amount of time. I was able to complete this goal in 3 months ahead of schedule. My reward is buying myself a new pair of running shoes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I like that. I'm digging that ER. That was kind of swag. I'm not gonna lie. Revise/reward. People write that down. I'm gonna write that down. I put that E and R on my smarter goals. We got to think of what smartest goals are now.
I have another one too, but
save it. That's season 2.
I just use it for my students.
All right. So when I'm thinking intentional goals, I'm thinking, like you said, not to piggyback, but very, very specific. I see myself getting more specific with my goals, which have kind of helped me figure out where I wanted to like navigate, where I see my lane for the most part, like my opportunities, and we can get into SWOT analysis and all that as well. But like where my opportunities are in the industry, specifically in content creation, because I believe that this thing is gonna blow up people for the most part.
It really has.
Yeah, especially with all this NFT stuff that I know nothing about yet.
I don't care to know, man.
Not yet.
Just give me some real money and call it a day.
But yeah, in terms of like just setting intentional goals, I try to schedule my appointments for the morning, and that's like my next intentional goal is like really schedule all my appointments for the morning, so that in the morning I'm really focused on SFE related stuff. I even have all my classes at night, except for Friday, I think. and Monday. So maybe not all the time, but it's definitely Tuesday through Thursday. I'm trying to like really schedule our SFE appointments throughout those days as well as the weekends, and try to do my Instacarting and gig work in the evening, and then we get to hang out and watch Harry Potter and whatnot.
Not just Harry Potter, a whole bunch of other stuff. What are we watching right now? Let's give them a taste. It's like a blast of the past, since this is a future episode.
Nice sidebar.
Yeah. Abbott Elementary. We're watching Abbott Elementary.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
With Quinta.
Yeah, we had to get something since they took Insecure. Insecure is finished. We didn't finish it though. We're like,
not yet. 6. We might be finished by the time this comes out.
Yeah, hopefully. What else are we watching? I think that's Law and Order. That's all we watch. Yeah.
It's a great show.
You guys have trying to watch more movies lately.
You guys have to give us suggestions whenever this comes out.
Yeah.
Because we have terrible. Yeah. We are Netflix surfers.
And I don't really like anything. So
we need to set a goal to not be Netflix surfers.
Yeah, just clicking for hours to the point where we're like, we'll just go to bed.
They do give us that play something option.
Yeah, that was cool, but only worked once.
But do y'all family mess with y'all algorithms?
Don't get
our family does.
Anyway, back to the show.
But yeah, so let's wrap this up a little bit. And when we're talking about what are our plans to fulfill our short-term goals and long-term goals, I guess.
What are our plans?
I need to get a whiteboard.
For me, it's more of just actually listening to my alarm. Getting up and making sure I do what I understand I should have like actual things I want to do during that time, and like be like, oh, I wake up at 6:30 and by 7 I want to, and that's the goal to get to that point. But right now I'm focused on the first step, which is just getting the fuck up.
You also hate calendars, by the way.
I don't hate calendars.
Well, you don't like to adhere to
I just remember everything, so it's like, man.
But I feel like the calendar is the extra step. Like, I don't remember everything.
I know. See, that's the thing. I do the step. I just ignore the notification. It's in my calendar, and I just swipe. I don't care.
Do you think you need, like, a more annoying notification to be like, no?
Just it popping up is enough, and then me swiping it away. That's a reminder. Boom.
Yeah, but now you know, and are you going to do it after you know?
I mean, I usually do it, but not the time that it's really set for, Like, it'll be like, oh, put data in for work. And it's 10 a.m. I might do that too. It's just a reminder that this is something I need to do for the day. Yeah.
So do you feel like do you feel like you should move it to 2?
No, because that's what I started doing. I'm a mood person. If I'm not in the mood to do it at 10 and I scheduled it for 10 and 10 comes and I'm like, I'm going to do it when I feel like doing it. It's going to get done that day. 2 is
like the number that 2 is just the time.
At that time, I felt like doing it.
At 2, yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
It's not always good to be like me. I'm a rare breed when it comes to certain things. I could get a whole week's worth of work done in like 2 hours.
So. You can.
How do I do it?
But do you feel like that is like something like kind of cramming it into one is helpful?
No, because I'll be bored as hell if I space it out.
Well, maybe you could take those time to like schedule in like different things. So like if you do it at 10, then you'd be like, yo, I'm going to the gym at 12.
Well, yeah.
Like, all right, I'm going to come back and do it at 2.
During the time, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
But it depends, because I could do that while I'm working from home. But once I'm in the office, I just got to sit there.
That's true.
That's it.
That's true. But I mean, I guess it's not going to give you like a consistent thing to do because you know that eventually you'll go back in the office.
Yeah, so it's like, I'm scared to get too comfortable.
So I guess you have to like start making like a schedule that's adhering to the office schedule.
Yeah, so it's like...
So you got to go to gym at 6.
Yeah, that's it's like mimicking what I would be doing if I was going to the office.
Or at that evening. Do you want to be evening gym copy?
Hell no. After 5 p.m.? No. That's COVID Central.
I don't know how people do that.
We did it at the Y for a couple, but we were going at like 8:30 p.m.
Wake me up in the morning. Yeah, I'll go in the morning because If I go in the morning, I'll be like, all right, I still have things to do today. But if I go in the evening, I'm like,
I ain't going.
This is the last thing I got to do today.
Or I'm coming home from work and I'm like,
You would have to go straight from work.
Yeah, it's not happening. Night is joining the conversation.
Apparently. But in terms of how I tend to accomplish my goals, I just need to be more, continue to be disciplined. And even when I slip, I got to acknowledge the slip and try to get back on to being disciplined. I have a calendar. I have a schedule. I have to follow that schedule. That's why we are up this morning at 8-something o'clock recording, because that's on the schedule. And I'm trying to stay consistent with that because I feel as though this is going to alleviate a lot of the extra stress that I have to do, especially when it comes with being a CEO and you have to do a lot of different things because you can't afford to pay everyone as of yet. So until I get money, I need to be disciplined.
Yeah.
And then I need to be disciplined with money.
Yeah. And for full transparency's sake, because we weren't disciplined, this podcast is coming out like a month after what we anticipated.
Indeed. And that's why we are improving our scheduling. This is a process. You guys are on this with us for the most part.
All the things we're saying, we're not saying it because it worked for us. It's working for us.
Yes.
And we think it's something we would like to share. Are we like experts and we're multi-millionaire, rich dad, poor dad bullshit? No. We're just trying to like be like, yo, we're going through it. You're probably going through it. Here's what I found that maybe or may not work for you. Take it if it works. If it doesn't, I'm sorry.
Let's chat. That's what I call it. Let's just chat. This is Cash Talk.
Yeah, we're just talking.
What we do. We talking not about cash, but about knowing.
Well, like technically about cash.
Yep.
Just not me.
Indeed. But yeah. I think that's it. Thank you guys again, of course, as always, for tuning in to the Cash Talk Pod. You can follow us at Noel Souls Heal.
That's not us, that's me.
That's you. I guess you can follow us at Smooth Family ENT, the creative content creation company, your favorite creative content creation company. And follow me everywhere at Frostmon Guru. And
you can follow me at Noel Souls Heal on Instagram, _Cash Talk _ on Twitter, and NoelSoulsHeal.com. Once again, the affirmation this week is, I enter this next phase of life with an open mind and open heart.
Open heart.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you guys again. We will see you next week.
Yep.
She I think I outgrown
that.
Wow.
That was like episode 3.